And we are back to another very, very special edition of the Boss Bus Between the Cheeks Fiasco Extravaganza Extreme with the one, the only, Pat Kelley himself.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man.
That was super dramatic. Does he always do that?
Yes, he has a different kind of improv intro that he does every time, where he gets about 6 to 8 words deep in a different rhyme.
That's fantastic.
Hey, it's the Bonanza Extreme. We gotta go hard.
Yeah, I love that you went big for me.
Yes,
of
course.
So you got a little bit of you got a C hook on that one.
Yep. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here. This is exciting. I got a chance to watch a few of your previous podcasts, and I think it's quite an honor to be asked on here.
I appreciate that. My heart. I mean, we try to have a lot of fun, but we also try to do as much as we can to let everybody get to know our guests and, get to be involved in the scene as much as they can be from, home. So it's cool that we get to have so many people that are so willing to come onto our podcast and share the scene with us. So it's not just from one or two perspectives.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I've noticed you have a lot of talented artists on here, and I think that's one of the things that I've liked about being involved is while I have no musical inclinations, I can barely tap my foot. I like that I can give in other ways, and so that's rewarding. So appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
We appreciate you for all the things that you've been doing for the scene as well, and giving all of our friends as artists, a chance to play and put their stuff out to the community, and also giving the community a chance to get to come out in these times where not a lot of people have a lot of places to go, and
Yeah, it's been fun, and obviously COVID for everyone has been difficult, and like I was telling you a little bit in the preamble here, I try to be pretty apolitical about COVID, but I also understand it's a real pandemic, so we try and keep our social distancing enforced. We wear masks. Last weekend with Dee's event, we had a lot more people. We did temperature checks. I mean, we're trying to do everything we can to keep people safe, but obviously there's both sides of it. We still have to make a living and still have to do things, and if this is something that you feel is risky behavior, then I encourage you not to come out. We've actually been talking about putting together even some Twitch streams and trying to get more people involved to be able to see those things if you have COVID concerns and want to come out and still be involved. So, there's some more opportunities, I think, ahead for us all, but we try and do our best for everybody. And big leaps both, in the music industry and out. I mean, technology has really propelled in the last 6 months. Things we always could do. It's not like there was a lot of great new inventions,
but ingenuity.
Yeah, and we just enabled people to do those things and to be connected, and that will be great, I think, when we get to a spot where you can be there or you don't have to be there, and there's some opportunities then for people to see things they wouldn't otherwise get to experience. And as we talk about those things that have changed, drive-ins, another one, a lot of drive-in shows, things you thought would have never happened. Like, why would you want to do that and be thousands of feet away or whatever? But people want their entertainment. They want they still want to live their life. Obviously, we want to be safe and things. And I think drive-ins are another kind of example of that. And so, what happens to those 2-3 years from now when COVID's gone or there's a vaccine or whatever? Do those go away, or is that still like another option? Exactly.
And I think that single point about innovation in the scene and working with what we've had to deal with and pushing for not only technology but new experiences is vital. And that, like you said, I think drive-ins is a great example. Like, that was like 50s or movies. Like, there was never an electronic show done as a drive-in, but because of the necessity to keep people safe, we're able to, in that small window, expand creatively in ways we were never able to before. And I think that's a perfect point to talk about what you've done for the scene. And he has done the Silent Dreamscapes. He's putting on a festival called MiddleGround. It's going to be amazing. And I want to talk about that for a second.
I'm excited to
see. Yeah,
I didn't know you were doing that, so I'm excited to hear more about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What made you want to I'll first start off with what made you want to start doing a silent disco here specifically?
Well, I guess it kind of all has come together at once. So the parent company, my actual employer, is Stage Gun Productions, and we're a full service, music and entertainment production company. We just recently bought ESS, and that is the staging company. That's where we're actually hosting the warehouse events. And, we first walked in, we kind of joked. There was one end of the warehouse that was full of junk, and it was, it would be fun to have a Raven here every weekend, wouldn't it? I was like, oh, yeah, it's a lot of space. It would be great, but that'll never happen because it's, full of junk. So we kind of looked at that for a little while. And then as we looked at what we were doing with MiddleGround, which, I know we're going to come back to a little bit later, we knew that there was maybe some opportunity to start to talk about what it is we do and show people the shows that we produce. Mm-hmm. And candidly, I think our best show was the first weekend that we hosted outside, but nobody knew who we were. And we had 40 people show up one night and 50 people show up the next night. But we had 3 DJs at a time, and they were playing out of a garage and out of the garage doors, and they had decks below and performers, and people just like they couldn't believe the production value that had gone into it. We rented thousands of dollars worth of lights, and which now we own, so we've decided to get into that side of the business too. So,
quick note: you guys' stage last night or Saturday night, out of sight. I felt like I was at a full production show from an artist coming in from out of state, where they had a full, like the coffins and the full, like all the lights set up on top of like the decks. Like it was immaculate, right? People were like, Is this what normal local shows are like? I was like, no, honestly, not at all. And the stage setup is out of sight.
And what we've tried to do each show is like we want to incorporate more of the performance and the arts and the lights. And I'm not going to lie, last weekend, D. Reed was a huge key player in the whole thing. Craig Mustard came in and helped with the visuals. There was people that were involved in the art scene and creating some of that. So, from my perspective, it was great because I got to provide a venue. We built the risers. We set the environment. And Dee and his crew came in and really did so much more with the artists and the show itself. And people were blown away. And that is a huge part of what I'm trying to do. I know that maybe people felt like I was going to be a little competitive with them when I first started, but I'm not a DJ. I'm not a producer. I'm a venue, and I'm trying to get artists. And seriously, that is, artists, physical artists, that is DJs, that is performers. I'm trying to get all of them together to create the environment, the scene for people to go enjoy the entertainment. Right. And I think whether it was an advantage or disadvantage or I got lucky was, I had gone to a few shows locally that had some great DJs playing and, maybe a couple par lights playing above and, people would just sit and listen and then the music was good and 20, 30, 40 people, and, they just kind of came and went, and that was the whole night. And then I, went to some festivals, and I saw big production, I saw the lights, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. And so when I came back, I just thought, oh, well, we'll just do this show like a festival, we'll try and make a production out of it, and
it's so admirable.
And I think people like it, so far so good.
Yeah, I think what you have done for the scene and the silent discos and you actually making an impact on the scene is so important. And to get back to my original question too, what made you necessarily want to get into the production side of things? Like, and besides, we're disregarding Omaha necessarily, but what drove you to do the career and the path that you're taking?
Like personal influence.
Right. So 20 some years in corporate America, operations management stuff, all that, boring.
Yeah.
I was an IT nerd, actually ran help desks. I did operations. Yeah. So all those kinds of things. And I think I told you before too, I have like zero musical talent. So I was never going to be a DJ, but I've always loved the entertainment business. I've always been going to the nightclubs. I stayed till they close. I like to find afters. I'm a 98% extrovert, and I love going out and meeting people, and so this has been just, for me, it's just been a passion about just like energizing the people and entertaining the people and having no way to entertain them unless I'm actually going to put on a show. And so when I met Steve Fitzgerald, he goes by Moon. When I met Moon, he gave me this opportunity to come in and help him with some of the marketing and the production, and so he and I have just sort of slowly evolved this. And Hush, which is the headset producer, is one of the companies that we're working on a merger acquisition with.
Awesome.
And so, our big vision for Stage Gun is we're going to have full sets of staging equipment productions. So, Event Structure Solutions will handle everything from the scaff to the staging to the trusses. I mean, we have portable stages, more mobile stages that we can put up in 2 hours. Lights.
Everything.
I don't know how much we're going to get into the sound side. We've talked about it a little. That's probably one we keep renting, but the lighting, the staging, and then Hush, they have these headsets, and they actually, from the low, we actually are using the lowest end headsets, believe it or not. So they're great, full ear coverage. The sound's amazing, and they can play up to 3 channels at a time. But we have a bassier version that has like full noise canceling. We have a bigger headset that actually has up to 15 channels, and we actually work in corporate America too. So you can go to like if you were to go to some event that was in a big conference hall or whatever, and there was hundreds of booths, you could walk up to somebody and they'd have a card and channel 15, and now you could listen to that person even if you couldn't stand close enough to see what it was they were talking about. And so in the corporate world, Hush is again very big, and they're using these headphones all the time, and so for us, again, I've been to festivals and go between the stages, and there's a silent disco going on. What's silent? What's disco? Why? That doesn't sound fun on either one. I mean, I listen to some 70s music, but I don't really like it, So it's like, okay, I'll go check it out. And I put it on, and wow, there's 3 DJs, and they're lit up by colors. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then I listen for a little while, and oh, well, that DJ, I don't really, switch it. Oh, yeah, like that, And then you look around, and there's some person that's dancing and they're listening to Red, so okay, you switch to Red, and then now you're vibing together, and so those kind of things are fun. And I thought that'd be just a cool thing to bring to the people. Let's try and do it that way. And where our warehouse was, we were a little concerned from a permit noise ordinance perspective, and thought, well, we'll start doing silent discos first. And last weekend's production by D was the first one we've done full audio on, but people have really just enjoyed. I can listen to the music really loud, and then when I want to talk to somebody, I can take the headphones off and I can talk
or even the volume control. Like you can literally just turn it down enough to where you just slide
an ear off. Yep.
Yeah,
people hang them on their neck.
I have my beats on and I'm like doing chores and stuff, and just slide it off to talk for a minute and put them back on. Like that's that kind of comfortability. Like where you're at home and I'm just listening to music, but also I'm with everybody. Like that's very it's just like you said, energizing. Like where you just feel very at home and everybody's there.
And again, that's I wanted to show people a good time, and so I think people have been able to come and have a good time, be social. So it's been a great connection that way.
And I think that the way you put it, that passion for not necessarily just the music side, but the entertainment side and bringing people together is so important. And that's an interesting point you make too about corporate America. And I never thought that could be so useful. Having 15 or more speakers on doing different conferences, panels, whatever they may need, being able to tune into one of those is an aspect of silent disco that I never would have thought about, because that makes so much sense. And those meetings can be vitally and crucially run on that and give everybody the information they want.
Yeah,
and a
little, a little bit of a sneak peek into our festival. One of the ideas that we want to do to make us a little bit different too is we haven't decided like the exact format style of it, but we're thinking like a box car or storage container type environment. And then what we want to do is we want to give every local artist or performance group, we want to give them their own containers. And then we'll actually bring in our very highest end headsets. So when you come into the festival, you get a headset. So we'll still have the main stage with the most incredible audio that you can hear 150 yards away, and we'll have a second stage that's very similar. We have a lot of space. I think we measured there's space for about 20,000 people. We won't sell that many tickets. I mean, we're still thinking we could be in COVID next year. So, if we get 8, 10, 12,000 people, we'll be really excited. But then we're going to do these throughout the area, so you'll be able to carry your headsets, and when you go into one of these crates, it'll be fully decorated and lighted by the production company that is doing it. So whether it's art or whether it's a business or whether it's a DJ group, you'll go in, you get to turn your headphones on and basically party with them for a little bit and see a little bit what they're about and kind of get a little bit of that vibe. And so as you rotate around the festival, there'll be all of these things to do in addition to listening to some of the great headliners that we have in store.
That's such a great idea. And I just wanted to touch a little bit on like just the previous Silent Disco, like the first one I went to, or was the second one, but like what I really stood out to me, like you said, I love that you pointed out that your idea for like the different color, you saw different DJs with different colors, so you could slide like their colors behind their stages would be coordinated with the colors on the headphones. When I came into the show, and it was just like the 2 channels where it was like, I had Kev on house music, and then you had Glava playing,
Psytrance.
I could just tell who's getting down to what, looking at their headphones, and not like not that I couldn't read them because how they're dancing and everything, but like it was cool to see like all the different little groups of people where it's like red headphones and then there's the blue headphones over here, and then like you see Paul jumping around with his blue headphones on because he's just anytime Psytrance plays he's done, he's
going crazy, yeah.
So it's just like like that literally stood out to me so much because I was like. That like it's so simplistic, but it catches so much attention. It does so much for the whole event.
Yeah, and the DJs love it too because then they can look out and be like, "Ooh, I'm running about 55-60% right now. I'm doing good. You know, I'm gonna pick up the pace. I'm gonna do this." And people keep switching them. And even one of the first ones I saw people too, like a song would come on and they'd be listening and like they're the only green and they're in a bunch of reds and they'd be like. And then all of a sudden they'd all go green, and everyone starts jamming. Those kind of things are fun.
Yeah, you just it's like, instead of just seeing like everybody change vibes in the crowd, you literally can see it from a light. Like everybody's like, it's almost like everybody puts their lighters up in like the sky, kind of like a rock concert, where it's just like you all of a sudden see the crowd reaction just off of them playing with their headphones.
Yeah, and the first Silence we did 3 DJs, and we asked them to play a 6-hour set. And so it was, that's a lot of work for them, And I told them, hey, you can take breaks, let your music play, and they just. And I'll tell you what, they got up there. They didn't want to leave the stage. They like just were jamming, and did such a great job. So then the next one, we thought, well, we're going to give every DJ a chance to be heard, so we're going to go one at a time. And people like that, but the Find Your Vibe thing has been such a cool ad. So now we actually do set times where we give. A DJ will start by themselves, then another DJ comes on, and the first DJ ends, and the second DJ has a little time by themselves because I want to give every DJ that opportunity to be heard without the noise, but also give the fans the chance to sort of hear a little bit of each. So
that freedom of choice, but also giving everybody their time to shine.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what was cool about it too is that like everybody. When you're like, say, I'm a floater. Like when I go to a show anymore, because the past 2 years I've been going so many times. Like when I go, I don't stay in one spot. Like when I'm going, I want to go bounce around to everybody. And being able to have that option to be like, see everybody listen to one thing, I can switch to their channel and dance with them, and then bounce to the next group, and just like have that chance to like slide myself into the group without it being like, oh, I have to see what they're listening. That there's more just for me to be able to do my thing as a floater, and. Be, respectful to everybody's, energy in the areas.
Yep, so. Absolutely.
Yeah, overall, I think that the moves you're making in the scene, and as you said, and as I said, that passion that you have for entertainment is showing. And I think that should be looked on as an inspiration for other artists and people that want to make productions and make events. They should look at that and see, hey, this guy not only said he was going to do this, but did it to an extent that exceeded all expectations. And you have consistently done that with every silent disco that has gone so far. And I think that's just really admirable.
If you keep saying things that nice, people are going to think that I'm paying you to have me on here. But I appreciate that. No, really, I do. And I'm sure anybody who watches this, anybody who's in the scene knows that, we got off to kind of a rough start there in the beginning, March, April timeframe. More than anything, I tried to keep it positive. I mean, even last weekend we had a couple of people that, were inebriated and had to be kicked, but for the most part, the scene is great and the people are great. And I get it. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to think they're investing in something or buying a ticket to something that isn't going to happen. And so, we've spent a lot of money to produce shows, and quite candidly, we've made money at one show, and we've lost a shit ton of money at the other shows. But we're really looking at what that's doing as we progress, and now we're looking at a spot where, we're getting hundreds of people coming. Like, it's nice to see these people that I haven't seen in a long time, but it's also nice to see people that I've never seen in the scene. And I've only been around for a couple of years, and seeing new people all the time. That's the kind of thing that excites me. I'm not, I'm the old guy in the group, of course, but I'm not the guy that's been in the scene. I'm not, my first rave was in 1995.
Super seasoned.
Right. And so I feel new myself, and I like bringing new people in, and that's a big part of what I'm trying to do is just, again, I want to entertain people. I want new people to come in and enjoy it. And so, I look back at kind of the things that went down in March and April, about what we were doing around the festival, and we hadn't done anything. And so it's like, okay, I'll pump the brakes. I'll quit bragging about something that we haven't done. And then, we'll put something together and we'll do some shows, and we'll let you see just kind of a clip of what we've done. I mean, I can tell you, hey, go look at the the Electric Zoo Phoenix from 2015, and you go look at this video, and I'll be like, yeah, that's my boss built that. And you'd be like, oh, and I'm like, that's what we're going to do at the festival. And people are like, oh, okay, I would love to see that, you know? But people don't want to just believe you. They want to see what you've done. And so that's why we're trying to do something.
To old stuff. Yeah. And just like, we want to do something new. We don't want people comparing it to this thing that we did before. Like, we're trying to progress and advance, you know?
Right.
And what I want to compliment you on is also that the amount, like you said, the amount of new people coming to, like, I've seen so many new faces at a lot of your events, but also the amount of people that I hadn't seen at events in so long, and then the environment that the event was creating, drawing out so many people that have been going to shows for 10, 15 years, and seeing them be comfortable being like, hey, this is my kind of show, this is where I want to go, and them all of a sudden coming out of the dungeon, and they're all there, and I was just like, I see so many new faces, but I see these people that I haven't seen, like, and like, you know, because there have been local shows going on here and there, like, the past year, but, like, a lot of people are just not going, but, like, on Saturday, it was, everybody was there, and I was just, like, taken aback, where I was like, that's why I was like, I can't wait to meet Pat, because this has done a great thing for the scene, because as much as COVID has brought everybody down, like, Saturday, really, you could see everybody kind of coming out of their shell, finally, where everybody's like, yes, COVID's a thing, but, like, what are we going to do? Like, I could go to the grocery store and still get COVID, so am I not going to go do the thing that makes me happy and the thing that helps me clear out my depression? Like, I still have to go out and go to work and do these things I have to do, but why am I going to stop doing the things that make me happy? Like, you know?
Exactly.
And also, with those rules, with the COVID guidelines that have been put in place and the things that you guys enforce in all of the gatherings that happen, like, I was blind, right? I wear glasses. I have a mask on. Literally, I am a fog machine in my eyes. And I wore it the whole night because it's respectful of other people. And I don't want ever to get somebody, not only them sick, but their family member sick. And everybody on that night, on Saturday, had the same mindset.
Well, and honestly, I was a little nervous because this would be the first sort of full partnership type show that we did, where I was sort of giving the space, renting the space to D and letting him put on the show. And we've said, wear your masks at the Silent Disco. And then the space can hold 800 or 900 people pretty easily. And we've said, okay, well, we're going to limit it at 250. And we did that by only having 250 headphones there. So there was never going to be more than 250, you know, social distance. And so as you
even if people are being lenient on the mask thing, that, like, there's no way they could, like, unless they're being ridiculous, like, everybody's going to space out.
And so at my Silence, it's always been, there's been more people not wearing their masks. Like, we make sure they're wearing them when they come in, but they'll take them off more and they'll stand and drink. And we didn't really have to get on them as much because everyone had some spacing and there was plenty of room. And so I was a little nervous because I saw what the pre-sales were looking like. I knew the people that were talking about going, but they did such a good job wearing the masks, and people wore the masks, and, like, we didn't have to kick anybody out because they wouldn't wear a mask. If someone had it down, they'd had a drink and they'd left it down or whatever, and we said, hey, put your mask on. They put that on, and it's been great.
Yeah, I would totally feel that same nervousness too. Like, putting on an event, especially a partnership or doing a connection with another person that's wanting to do the event, like, it no longer goes from you having the space and managing it, but you having the space and floating that management to them and hoping, like, I hope it goes well.
Right.
Like, that's some trust you have to put in someone. And I think overall, shout out to D. Reed. We've said his name a bunch, but you've done great. Thank you for putting on that Halloween event. We look forward to more events in the future. And just overall, it's been a big relief for everyone that's been feeling that Rona, just depression, mixed with seasonal depression and things that have been going on just in general. We have an election tomorrow. Crazy to think about.
Politics plus winter plus shutdown plus Corona.
Yeah, there's been a lot to think about, and just having that escape for a moment, and a respectful, safe show for a moment with everyone involved. It was just great, and I can't wait for more things to happen in the future. And overall, I'm just very pleased with the direction that the scene is going. The push for a higher level of production and also artistic creativity with everyone, and us progressing the Omaha and Nebraska scene as a whole is so vital. And it's something that really has been stagnant ever since OSU kind of stopped with the warehouse. And that stagnation has stopped. And I've felt a growth. Every artist individually has pushed themselves further They've released on more platforms. They've pushed themselves to a higher standard. And I think a lot of that has to do with the shows we put on. And you're a part of that. You're behind the scenes.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I think both things are happening, right? You have the coronavirus that's keeping people out. And I've also seen musicians both locally and nationally that are like producing bigger and better sets of music and releasing EPs and just, I mean, there's so much going on. And I mean, even the music from the local scene, I'm like blown away. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm listening to Rez and BTSM and Blank and everything on my playlist, but I hear some of the things that that the local people are putting out, and I'm just blown away. And it's like
Black Magic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, God, their crew, and I mean, Jay Frank. I could go on. I mean, I could name all kinds of people that are just
his EP was just
spot on. Oh yeah, and I look at that and I just think, okay, as bad as this virus has been for us, here are some of the good things that are coming out of it. And I've waxed nostalgic on relationships and, closeness that I've gotten to other people because, we've had more time together. And so those are the kinds of things, like there's a lot of positive that's come out of that. And we have to keep a hold of that. We have to keep lighting that fire and keep that passion going. And even what we're looking at, what we're doing over the next 3-6 months, I mean, we have still so many more ideas, so many more things that we want to do. And, I went from, begging DJs to play for me the first couple of silent discos to getting about 3 requests from DJs to play at my discos. And I've got artists that are asking me. I've got people talking about renting the venue now and they want to do shows. And like, I just want to have a private birthday party there. Can I do that? I'm like, that sounds fun. Yeah, I mean, I would love that, Yeah. So people are talking about like just, pure afters type parties, like 2 to 5 a.m. kind of things. And, so it's like, yeah, I mean, and again, we want to go safely out and have a good time. We want to enjoy ourselves. And if we can go do that and be in a safe space, then wonderful. Well, I'm about to reveal the big secret to my success. You ready for this? It's all of you. I know it sounds so cheesy, but
I'm going to cry.
But it really has been everyone's feedback. So, we did the first event. People said, hey, I loved it, but here are the few things. Okay, we'll do 2 or 3 of those. Hey, love the next event, but okay, we'll do a better job on that. Hey, it was too bright. Okay, we'll tone it down. Hey, 2 bathrooms isn't enough. Okay, now we have 4. Hey, it was kind of cold. Guess what? Well, we're gonna put in some heaters and we're gonna cover the bathrooms and So you don't know me. I don't care. Send me a friend request. Talk to me. Message me. I want to hear your input. I want to know what you want to see at a show. And so, any of you that are watching this, hit me up anytime. Let me know. Absolutely.
I think that is well deserved, and that's really a thing. Like moving to that point where you're able to put on shows for yourself. Like the realization and what you said about earlier, when hey, I want to do this, and I'm going to, so I'm going to put on this show.
Right.
Like that drive and that actualization of what you want to do. Like Buss Republic Records, that's our overall record company that we have. And we want to start throwing shows, and we want to start having artists and do our own shows and things like that. And that drive and the ability to actually put your money where your mouth is vital. And that's not really seen too often.
Right.
No.
I think a lot of people can easily say that they're going to do something. And I think the importance of that too is that not only does it give us the inspiration, but it also gives us the ability, because as D. Reed said on our last podcast, he said that the EDM scene and the people that we have is one step. It gives you a platform to be one step away from success and one step away from your passions.
Right.
And people involving themselves creatively in what they want to do and having others support what they want to do, especially people like you who are doing those things.
Right.
That gives the motivation and gives the extra little push it could take someone from being somebody that makes their music and never puts it out to someone who does, or someone who always wanted to throw a show versus someone who does. And that community, that involvement is so, so important.
Yeah, and candidly, we have the same thing too. We have the people be like, oh, you know who you need to talk to? You need to talk to Caleb. Oh, you need to talk to Craig. You need to talk to, so we're doing the same things. We're just out hustling that side of it a little more, not making the music, and we're the ones making the calls. And for us, it's, it doesn't matter if you're introvert, extrovert, like, oh, I need to call someone. Okay, I call them and I just start like, hey, I'm Pat. Yeah, I know you don't know me, but this is what we're doing. And so, it's great to make all those connections and start to get to know people. And I remember struggling the first show to get DJs, and I actually was talking to D, and he was like, "Oh yeah, talk to this guy, And hey, D Reed told me to call you. Oh, D, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do a show for you.
Yep.
I hear people that will always give me the negative side of it too, like, oh, I saw so and so, I saw this, and it's
10%.
That's yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that's everywhere in every scene. But I can tell you that I have gone to festivals in other cities. I met the most amazing people in the world, and I have had shows here locally and connected, and just. Like I said, I'm getting 3 or 4 friend requests every weekend from people that sometimes I met them, sometimes I didn't, and they just, people want to be connected, and it's acceptable.
Well, that's a huge point that you're pointing out. There's good and bad eggs in every community, everywhere you go, business, like work, school, like anywhere you go, there's going to be good and bad people. Right. But like if once you learn that that's just a part of life, that everybody, like, there's always going to be bad eggs where you're at.
Right.
When I went to the EDM scene and like with that mindset, like I was like, the fact that I'm in this place with so many people, like around more people than I've ever been around, and I can tell that there are less bad eggs than good eggs here.
Right.
It blows my mind.
Right.
Like just because of how the world is. And the fact that like there's a community like that where there's so many people looking out for each other in opposition to the people that are trying to do harm, it makes you want to never leave. Like you said, like where you you go into the scene meeting the right people and you will never be done. You will never go out. Like that, you're stuck. Like, and not in a bad way, where it's just like you feel that love and you are there forever.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
And I think that communal aspect to the scene and the drive for everyone to bring each other up, whether it be in compassion to one another, whether it be inspiration to others' passions, whether it be giving confidence to other people in what they want to do, is the most important thing. And that's something that's really unique, at least that I've seen, to the Omaha scene. Mm-hmm. And with that, with the Omaha scene in mind, what do you have going on? What's going on in the future? What are your goals?
I heard something about something going on in November, but is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at, again, as a production company, we're doing a lot of big things now. I think I was telling you guys, we're doing drive-ins in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So we had Major Lazer and Diplo, Mark Riboulet and Bert Kirshner's this week, and we did Pink Martini and Shiba-san. So, we are still producing big shows everywhere in the country.
Real big shows.
Right. And so here, what we're trying to do is incorporate what we can from those things into into these local shows in the same way. I'm actually super excited for our next Silent Disco. We're doing a Kimchi takeover. So Kimchi Productions is going to they're going to do the DJs and the marketing. And so this is, again, where I feel like I want to collaborate with people, and I want to give other people.
Town in so long.
Yeah. And I want to give them the opportunity to be successful. And if I can be just a piece of that. And God, I met Zach, and it's funny because we were talking about some of the sort of negative PR that we got in the beginning, and Zach and I were one of those that we had a little banter, and we've talked about it since then, and it's been almost funny to go back and revisit because his mentality was the same thing, like, hey, I don't want some unknown out of towner corporate money to come in and sort of drain the scene like has been happened before. And after talking to him and saying, well, okay, I've lived in Omaha since '92. I've just been in corporate America. And yes, I've been in the scene and I go to events, but, I'm the old guy in the corner that's watching. And, I don't know the people. I don't know the DJs. I don't know the scene. And so now I'm trying to help it and I'm trying to produce it. Yeah. And now I had the chance to work with him, and he did a silent disco for me a couple of discos ago. And, I just absolutely killed it. Starts talking to he and his partner about their production company, and it's just like, yeah, let's do a takeover. Let's have it be your thing. Let's promote Kimchi, and that's been just fabulous. So we've got that. We've got an amazing show in December with some of the I'm not allowed to say yet because we have to get past the next silent before I can announce it. But we have some amazing DJs, some 5 DJs that I think you guys are just absolutely going to love. And we're actually thinking of even maybe just changing up the theme a little bit, like kind of a formal thing, hang some starry lights, just not, I don't want to make it sound like high school prom kind of thing, but, maybe dress up a little bit, do some different things, and, add a lot of lasers and let's just, have us all dress up a little bit like we're going to a club in Vegas kind of thing. And so that's kind of, and that's kind of what we're thinking from a theme perspective. And like I said, people are hitting me up about doing other events. And so people have talked about like a Thanksgiving type afters. They're talking about New Year's Eve. Again, and
yeah.
I
can only imagine the New Year's Eve shout outs you guys,
Yeah,
especially for that venue that you guys got right now.
right, and that's again. So I'm actually I talked to the other producers, D and Matt and Derek and Caleb. So we really want to all grow the scene, and so we all try and hey, I got something this day, I got something this day. So we're doing our best to not schedule over each other. But there are still
events,
yeah, basically. And there are still venues. I mean, so Reverb and Waiting Room and Slow Down, who hasn't done much now, but as they're getting back into these things, it's not going to be possible for us to never do things at the same time. And New Year's Eve is sort of that one where it's well, everybody's going to want to do something. Everyone's want to do a big thing, and as great as Halloween turned out, it's possible that there could end up being a New Year's Eve event at the warehouse in the same manner.
It would be.
I've actually had bar owners ask me if they could do takeovers in the warehouse and bring their bar to the warehouse, get their SDL to sell alcohol there, and do you'd have a full bar, full club style production event. So people definitely like the venue and they like the setup and what we're doing. And I wish I could say that I picked it for the rave scene, but. Part of it was because that's the staging company and the warehouse they were in, and like I said, it was full of junk and old exercise equipment. And hey, we should throw raves in there, and I was like, "There's no way that place is a pit." And we cleaned it out and cleaned it up, so It's been great.
Very successful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would say 10 times over. It's been very great. The people we've met there, the experiences we've had. Shout out to both Elusive and Ananagon. Also, our fellow Zacks need to stick together.
Absolutely.
He at least, Elusive was one of the people that I've also been inspired by in the rave scene. Ananagon is another really great friend. We played at the Black Magic pop-up show. We closed out the night, and Ananagon played before us, and he immediately came up to us after our set, and we all just talked, and we were both inspired by one another. So it was great to hear. The Kimchi Productions show on November 21st. Make sure to make it out there. I know Moose is going to be playing as an appetizer. Yep. I love Mario. He's great. We've got another few DJs as some entrees, and then you've got a dessert, which is Dapper. So check that out. Pat, it has been great talking to you thus far. So I'm thinking now would be a good time to go into our sponsored segment before the King's Cup drinking game. So shout out to Matsunami Corp, the man who always sponsors our podcasts. Shout out to Teespring for holding our merch. Teespring.com/store/the-branded-bus.
Shout out Anchor for holding our podcast on their platform.
Our platform we distribute to everywhere from Anchor. They're great. You're about to hear a sponsored segment from them in just a moment. And thank you again for everyone who's viewing this. We really appreciate the support, not only in music, but in our podcasts and everything creatively we're wanting to do. So if you like it, please subscribe. That'd be pretty great. And I think now would be a great time to see if Pat Kelley has anything he'd like to shout out.
I mean, again, I would just be shouting out all of the wonderful employees that I have, the partners that I've had, the DJs, talent, people like you that are helping make us successful. I mean, we're doing our best to promote it, and the one thing that I'm still trying to figure out is, again, how to get people that are outside of the scene. I want to get new people there. I know there's plenty of people who go to the Max because they want to dance, or they go out, because they want to be entertained and they want to meet people, and that's how I want to keep drawing people into the crowd. And and Patrick said it the best. It's like, if you want to feel love, if you want to feel affection, you want to see people who care about you, you come to an EDM event, and those are the kinds of the people that I want. So, I mean, I could give a long list of names, and I usually avoid doing that because I miss somebody and then they let me know. So I will just say to everyone to thank you. But, the one I couldn't miss most would be my partner, Amy, who has been absolutely the most supportive woman in the world to me, and has done so much to help me as I've changed careers and done weird things like this, and supported, the difficult times that we've gone through. And now that we're coming out the other end, it's great. And I love having her by my side.
Shout out to Amy.
Shout out Amy.
She's been doing great.
She rocks for sure.
Well, I think with that, it would be a perfect time to get into our, hopefully, audience favorite segment. We've got King's Cup.
I'm excited.
Classic game.
Okay, so what are the rules?
So
each card has its own.
Yep. So
Nice.
whatever you draw the card on, there's going to be a different rule associated with it. And then once you're done drawing the card, you put it in the cup. Once the tab breaks, whoever breaks the tab has to drink that drink.
Okay.
Usually with King's Cup, there's like a cup itself, and people pour drinks into the cup.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, you just have to drink it truly, which is, if anything, more friendly.
Right.
So, as our guest, you start off, and we'll go from there.
So you're going to tell me the rule after I see the card.
Yep. After you
That
see
seems
the card,
a little suspicious.
say
can I tell you?
But
So I got an ace.
so that is waterfall.
So this is 100% one that we can't cheat you on anyways. So waterfall is you start drinking, and once you start drinking, I can't stop drinking until you stop. And then Zach cannot stop until I stop. Mm-hmm. So we're chugging this until you stop, and he's chugging until I stop.
So I'm going to start drinking, and I just, whatever amount I want.
Yes. And then I'll stop after you, and then he'll stop after me.
Yep. Okay. So you could royally screw us over.
Okay.
But it's up to you.
And then I put the card under the tab?
Yep. I'm so happy that you haven't played King's Cup, because that makes it so much more fun.
Never truly. The only reason I quit, I would have killed you.
Reloading.
I was out of truly.
Here you go, Patrick.
7.
Heaven.
Okay, so this one is heaven. So I will drink on this because it's my card. We want to explain it. So 7 is heaven, which means you reach to the sky. Last person to reach to the sky loses. So 7. You say 7.
Yep.
Okay, I drink.
And the same as 4, which is
4.
floor.
So if someone draws a 4 and they say 4, last person to touch the floor loses.
Okay.
Jack.
Well, he didn't have to drink then?
I'm going to drink.
Okay.
I'm going to drink. Yeah.
Jack.
I'm totally cool with it. I don't got to drive or anything. I'm chilling.
Never have I ever.
This is the funnest one.
This is super fun to get to know our guests.
What if I tell you in advance that no matter what you say, I've done it?
We're going to have to try really hard.
Unless you throw in some weird like broom closet thing or something. But
we might.
Okay.
That's the
never have I ever. What's this mean?
Okay. So this is the amount of fingers we have.
So basically you say never have I ever, and as long as the other person, so you say something you think that you've done that, or no, something you've never done that maybe someone else has done. So like never have I ever gone surfing, and then if anybody's gone surfing, they have to put their finger down, and the first person to get to 0 has to drink.
Okay.
I've got an easy one to start us off, just to get the name of the game. Never have I ever thrown a warehouse event.
That's a dick move.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's like never have I ever run my own podcast.
I don't run the
You
podcast.
do. Well,
I don't
yeah,
run
you
the
do.
podcast.
You're one of the cheeks.
Fuck. Thanks,
Okay,
Pat.
how about something less lame then? Don't blame me, blame him.
I thought we were name brothers. You should have said never have I ever been named Zach. I literally beat him with that one time.
Here you go, Pat.
Never have I ever produced a song. I got you, Pat.
So since I've never, I leave my fingers up. I've never produced a song.
I was attacking Zach because he attacked you.
Great.
Because we're name brothers.
I see.
Also, speaking of that, never have I ever been named Pat.
You're such a monster.
You guys deserve that one, okay?
Get Zach.
Wow. It's like, do I want to get him or do I want to get to know him? Because I don't feel like we're doing that part. So.
We got 4 more Jacks, so don't feel afraid.
Never have I ever slept under a bridge. Okay. See?
That's actually
Wait,
solid.
okay. All right. I have a quick side question. Slept under a bridge, like a train bridge or like a
bridge?
Bro, if you've slept under a bridge, what? How did I...
Okay, there we go. See?
That's knowledge. That's a good question. That's never been asked before.
Okay.
Nobody knew I slept under a bridge till today.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whose turn?
It was an accident.
Me?
I was really drunk and I passed out underneath a car bridge. It wasn't a train bridge, but it was an overpass, and I fell asleep underneath it for about an hour.
Still counts. Okay, 2.
So that's you. You get to pick someone to drink.
I think it's you.
You deserve that.
You know, since we don't share the same name.
Karma.
I just felt attacked by both Pats, by the essence of Pat
By
itself.
the essence of Pat's. All right.
Get with the program.
I'm trying to get with a Pat Graham, and I can't. I'm named Zach.
Fudge. This is my least favorite card in the whole world. This is Queen, which means questions. Once I start asking a question, you can't say anything but a question. The first person to make a statement loses and has to drink. So everything has to be a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who starts?
Me.
Yep.
You already lost.
Yep.
No, wait, he gets to start. Pat,
I thought we were friends.
You would have got him.
Why are you doing this to me?
Have you gone yet?
Hey, Zach, is that a mirror behind the camera?
Do you know what a mirror is?
What do you do with a mirror?
Do you ever look at yourself?
Do I ever need to?
Does he ever need to?
Do you need to?
Please, God, no.
That was a weird one, but okay.
Yep, it works.
It works.
When you put me on the spot for a question, I give up.
Hey, Pat.
No.
Right. I got the deck all stacked. I knew it.
See, you shuffled it just the way you wanted. So what's the king?
So this is, I make a rule. If you guys break it or myself breaks it, we have to drink. So this is the ultimate like horcrux of the entire event.
Okay.
So my rule, I think, will be, so for this one, I think I'm going to take D. Reed's approach with the two-handed card grab.
Fuck.
So when you grab a card from the deck, you have to grab it with two hands. And if you don't, you drink. Okay. That one tripped us up.
It got me like 7 times.
Two-handed card. So and that's the rest of the game.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you get a king, then you can nullify a rule with your king. If you
Or can I just add?
Yep. You can add a roll.
Yep. You can.
Okay. 8.
That's a mate. So you get to pick someone that every time you drink, that they have to drink with you.
Well, since we're name partners, then we'll be drinking partners.
Perfect.
It's only fair.
I think so.
How many hands did you take that card with?
I will drink on it. I will 100% drink because. Thank you, but also because of this rule, I'm going to murder Zachary because every time he gets a king, usually in every other podcast, he makes me have to drink like 20 times. Uh-huh. So Zach, every time you have to drink, or I have to drink, you have to drink 5 times. Not him, just you or me. If I have to drink,
I think that's respectable.
So we're taking one out because when you did this to me, it was 5 people. Anytime 5 people had to drink, 4. I had to drink 3 times.
5.
Yeah. It was you, me, and then 3 other people. There were 5 people. Anytime any of the 5 had to drink, I had to drink 3 times. So I was fucked. And you still passed out on the couch before me. I still beat you.
You're correct.
I did. I felt challenged at that point, and then I went and passed out so hard after you fell asleep.
That's what it is.
So have you drank from the not taking the card?
No, I'm about to right now.
Okay.
I'm glad you kept him in check.
We're name brothers. He has to check me.
That's true.
And you're going to have to drink. You're going to have to drink for
using
two hands as well.
I just drank also, so you have to drink 5 times. So
6.
True. Truly have to drink 6 times.
We're going to need more alcohol.
Yeah, I'll grab
I'm glad you guys don't have to drive.
Yeah, that's a plus.
That's what when he attacks me, I'm like, oh, okay. So next.
It's okay. I have your favorite game. Except if I make you lose, I have to drink.
I might just lose on purpose.
Here's the key. How are you doing, Pat?
I don't know how.
Are you talking about tonight?
Yeah. How are you doing? I didn't think that would get him, but it did.
Being put on the spot sucks.
I was fine until you asked it back again. Then I was like, I totally wasn't ready.
Perfect.
5.
Guys. Which means
Zach drinks 5 times.
I do. 5 guys, burgers, and fries. That's me.
What does he drink? 5 times for the 5 you had to drink and 5.
We'll
call it good.
Catalyst on 15 times. Oh my goodness.
Well, look at that.
One.
Wow.
Ah, shit. That's bad for you, Zachary.
Yeah. About to 2 me?
It's me. So 2 is you.
Yeah. So you pick whoever you want.
Oh, me.
Oh, you pick whoever you want?
Me.
So you're picking yourself to drink?
Yeah.
To drink 2 drinks?
Well, I have to drink
1 drink.
1, and then he has to drink 5.
Okay. But if you had picked him, he would have had to drink his 1 plus 5 more still, right?
I was being kind of friendly.
Kind of friendly.
I was trying to be, but either way, I knew he lost, so.
Great. Which is great.
You did this to yourself.
Two. You. Not you, Patrick. Pat.
He had to save himself.
Cheers.
There was nothing he could do about that.
Oh, I have to drink another. I took it with one hand.
And you're 5 for having to have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to be a stickler for the rules or anything.
Do you want me to get some more Trulies since we don't have to drink the White Claws?
6. Oh, wait.
6. That's a free card. We're good to go. You can just put that in there. We don't have any chicks with this. So 6 is chicks. So if you're in a row, you have to drink. So
6 is chicks. Okay.
Yep.
I also don't want to open the tab.
Right. Yeah, that's the struggle. It might be a free card, but it has a cost.
No, that was really close,
That
too.
was.
Really close.
I saw his brain.
This is my least. Okay, I hate this more than the Queen.
No, you
But
don't.
you hate it more than I do. 3
3
is me, so I have to drink, but that means Zach has to drink 5
3 is
times.
me.
That's a good trick. If you are worried about it popping, go under at least a couple cards and slide it in from there.
Mm-hmm. And if it pops, you drink the whole thing.
Well, you don't have to chug it or anything, but that's your drink at that
Okay.
point. And then the game's over. Back in the day, we did a chugging, but then we had some guests we had to let stay for several hours. I will drink. And
Oh, no.
Sorry, I had to think. I was like, what is that? I can't.
Oh, no.
I did that on purpose. He's looking at me. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Either way, you're drinking 5, bud."
This is hell.
You're going to be bloated if nothing else.
Yeah.
5.
Cheers, cheers, boys.
What is this 5 again?
Guys.
5 guys. Okay.
So Zach has 5 more.
5 Guys Burgers and Guys.
This is the first time I've got a king in 5 podcasts. He was not expecting it.
Done. Okay. It's your go, Patrick.
No, I just wanted to your go.
Okay, great.
I just did
You
5.
got another 5.
Yeah,
rings
he
'cause
just did 5.
You
I
just
just
draw it with one hand, so you got 5 more.
I do. However, I also have a 2, which is Pat, not me.
So it's me, so you have 10 drinks.
No, it is Pat.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yep. I have 5. I would not subject myself to that horror.
I need another truly.
9.
Rhyme. So you pick a word, and then we all have to rhyme with that word. And slant rhymes are strictly forbidden because we get really off fucking word.
So I just picked the word and then you rhyme?
Yep.
Do we go in order?
Yep.
Okay, purple.
Nurple.
No, there's no. What the fuck?
I don't think his was a word either, but at this point, does it matter?
It rhymes.
That was the one thing that I was thinking of was a purple nurple. I can't. What else rhymes with?
It's like purple,
boys?
orange, and syrup or something. There's these 3 or silver. What's the other one?
Syrups. Yeah, silver.
Silver. Don't have rhyming words.
Quilver.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, so who drinks?
I didn't even know there was
I
that many
do.
words that didn't rhyme
Right.
with each other.
Right.
I just thought it was. I thought it was orange. And I thought was it. You bust out 4 more. I was like, holy shit! There's a lot of worms.
Using that college degree of mine.
Ah!
Dude.
4.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, thank God. Thank God I'm free for a moment.
That was really nice of you.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
just
mine.
bought yourself
No.
a drink.
I also have to drink 5 times, but you fucking chug that, please.
Well, cheers, bitches.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna open this.
Yeah. I think now it would be a good time to say thank you so much to not only our sponsors, but the main guest of the hour, Pat Kelley, for doing not only being on this podcast, but doing the things you're doing for the scene and progressing it the way you are. It is incredible and admirable, and I think that's fantastic. So thank you for you to come on. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to our sponsors.
I appreciate the compliments from both of you, and I appreciate the chance to be on. And again, we just want to keep doing great things for everybody. And I'm again so down to collab. I'm so down for new ideas. Please hit me up. Please, continue to do what you guys are doing. I think you guys are as a big part of growing the scene as any of us. We all have our roles. We all have things we have to do, and as long as we continue to work together, and I think we're going to do great things. So
big ups to the scene. We'll see you guys in the future, and
we will see you guys next week.